Hi to everyone, this is Laura, and I am here to present you a living legend. So this is a privileged chance to meet Mr. Enzo Liverino, also known as the King of Corals. And so let's introduce Enzo. Ciao, how are you, Enzo?
Fine, thank you very much. Thank you, Laura.
Enzo Liverino is a renowned sculptor and engraver in coral, and also the leader of a very ancient firm, Liverino, 1894, that was founded by your great-grandfather.
Right.
What is his name? What was his name?
Basilio.
Basilio. So
Basilio.
it's a recurrent name in the family of Enzo, Basilio. And so Enzo is now, he leads Liverino 1894 firm, and is a custodian of the choral tradition and artistry. And he has got a museum that was founded by his father, Basilio, when he was very young, Enzo. I remember that you said to me that your father was only 16 years old.
When he started the, let's say, collection.
Yes. And he began a marvelous collection that now counts more than 1,000 artifacts. And this is a special museum that maybe someone like my colleague David already visited, and I invite you to visit this marvelous museum. But this museum is not only a museum that preserves these wonderful artifacts, but also preserves archives. Because we can find in this museum the archives of Liverino firm, but also the archives of Raffaele Costa firm. The Raffaele Costa firm was a very important Italian firm in the coral trade and industry that was based in Genoa, in Italy. And the father of Enzo acquired these archives that are very important today to study the roots and the trade of coral. The coral, my friend, is a fascinating story. This story is so ancient and dates back to prehistoric times. And we know coral from Sicily, Sardinia, and the Middle East. Is there anyone that wants to know the origin of the name coral? Okay, I will tell you. Coral comes from the ancient Greek corallion. Corallion has got an uncertain meaning. Maybe means something hard. And in Arabic, for instance, it's called al-marjan. Al-marjan, because it was very, very widespread in the Arabian world. So human fascination with the corals, very ancient Romans, ancient Romans and Greek knew very well coral. And here you can see the painting by Giorgio Vasari. Giorgio Vasari is an Italian famous painter that he is portraying here in this painting the might of the nascence, the born of the coral. In fact, the coral in ancient mythology, in Metamorphosis of Ovids, was born by the blood of Medusa. And so coral is associated with the blood, but it's also called the red gold. And so this red is something that returns in the story of coral. The red is a color that symbolizes the passion, but also the blood of Jesus Christ. Also was a symbol of protection, because in ancient times, you can see, in ancient times, it was worn by infants, was worn by brides for fertility, by warriors for strength, was put on the ships to protect them. It was put on the roofs to protect them from the lightnings. And here you see this portrait. This portrait by the famous painter Agnolo Bronzino represents the little Giovannino de' Medici wearing a coral necklace as a protection. And also the red means that he will be destined to a career in the church. And I will be short. The Mediterranean civilizations was also in the Middle Age, and in 1277 it was approved a treaty in Naples by the rulers of this time, that were the kings of Anjou en français, where the coral fishing was ruled. But we can say that the principal ports were Leghorn, were Genoa, were Naples. And the routes were the Mediterranean routes, with Calcutta in India, that was the point from which departed the commerce to the East, to the Asian market. It was in this period that Torre del Greco, and you know that Enzo is based in Torre del Greco, isn't he? Torre del Greco near Naples emerges as the very important center for the coral. And I don't want to be very long, but I want you to know something about the ingegno. This is an ingegno. What is the ingegno? The ingegno is a tool. Is a tool also called Sant'Andrew cross. Very simple tool. Maybe ingenious, but very efficient. And it was used by these rowing boats. And there were a lot of variation during the times, but the ingegno was born, you were telling me, around the 10th century, and it was used until the 20th century, Enzo. Until the 20th century. Then it was forbidden. Why was it forbidden?
Was forbidden because the people don't understand the way the ingegno used to fish. In the 10th century, the Arab, they fishing the fish, often they lost the nets, because the nets remain attacked in the rock. Yes. And they cannot move, they cannot save the nets, so they have just to cut the rope and lost everything. So they got the idea to create a kind of cross that, because of the shape he has, he can fly 2-3 meters up the seabeds. And the nets was attached to those cross. This way, the nets was floating, never touch the rock, and they can easily fish. Sometime happened that in the nets remain some branch of coral. And I suppose, this is my opinion, that not in the 10th century, but maybe after a couple of centuries, they start to fishing a coral using short nets that can make a selective and sustainable harvesting.
Yes.
Because the short nets, broken nets, they select only the big branch and the remaining the living one. That's the ingegno.
Yes.
Then in near Spain, they found a deposit of coral, of dead coral, that was high 20 meters. In that case, there is no need to take piece by piece. They just send down a iron tube, moving it and clean the seabeds with this dead coral. But the ambientalists, they saw that tools, and they suppose that the coral was fished with in that way. So they asked to the European Parliament to
stop
prohibit the use of
the
ingegno.
ingegno.
Anyway,
Yes.
we can talk for a long time regarding the system they choose through the scuba diver, because now there is a new technology that can help and save the life of the scuba diver with the ROV, but we will see later.
But let's talk about the artistry of Liverino, and also the fact that he has always collaborated with very famous artists. Look at this pala in Italian that is in the treasure of San Gennaro in Naples. What about this?
No, I was lucky to meet 10 years ago Jan Fabre, because he was in Naples, to visit Naples. And he came to visit my museum. Before the meeting, he used to create a sculpture like animals or any kind of figurine, and glue on the round the carapace of scarab, of the beetles. And he understand that the time was against him because the ambientalists will complain the use of the beetles. And he asked me, Enzo, what do you think? There is any limitation on coral, on the exportation? We can use the coral. And I suggest to him, you can use, to be sure, the Mediterranean coral, that you can export all over the world, because it's not CITES included. And he said, okay, give me a couple of months, I will come with a project. And we start creating 9 sculptures in coral. And after that, we made other and other. And then when he came, he used to spend his time together with me in the poor area of Naples. And one day we went to Piemonte della Misericordia, and he found the big painting of Caravaggio representing le 7 opere della Misericordia.
La Misericordia.
He was shocked. And he said, I must do something in the honor of Neapolitan people and Caravaggio that made this amazing painting. So he said, Enzo, if you agree, we will do 4 artwork, 60 kilo each of coral.
Yes, enormous.
And we will donate to the Piemonte della Misericordia. And in 1.5 years, we completed. And now the 4 artwork that maybe are on the slide.
Yes, yes, yes.
And
in fact, I finish my slide. Here you can read, there is no need that I explain to you, the symbolism of coral, of the red coral.
Anyway,
And so,
we have the other slide over there.
important now is you have the other ones, so that Enzo
Anyway,
can tell us this
coming back
story.
to the last picture you have before.
Yes,
This panel is 2 meter by 2 meter because Jan Fabri he won't donate this to the San Gennaro treasure, and it takes 2 years with more than 100 kilo of coral, 2 meter by 2 meter, and there was worked part from Jan Fabri, part we finished
collaboration.
in my factory during the COVID time. We have nothing to do, so we can spend time on this subject. And even that, my worker, they was paid by the government because during the COVID, but they found excuse. They have to go to supermarket, they have to go to the doctor just to have the excuse to come to work because they was not able to stay without nothing to do. And when they come, they work with the pleasure on this artwork. And they say for San Gennaro, we like to do something special. And now they are very proud on what we have made.
Yes, so it's important that you retain this, that Enzo unites the passion for coral, the artistry, and also is a custodian of coral. Because coral, how is the coral? Is a living entity or what is coral?
The coral is, before fishing, is a living organism that the most important thing is the slide that you are seeing representing the big difference between coral reef and precious coral. Reef coral lives 2-3 meters and can be exposed by acidification, ocean acidification, climate change, and so on. Precious coral lives very deep. Even
Yes.
I think we have a study. Can you change?
Yes?
Yes, this was almost the same. And then in my CIBJO Coral Commission, I understand that as a biogenic gem, we need scientists and not only gemologists, because gemologists can be part of the business, but everybody believes in the scientists, of course after God. But so Nozomi Iwasaki is considered the number one in the world as biologist. And we start this study with him. And then I asked the help of Napoli. You see the different, this is the coral reef. One day we understand, the Coral Commission understand that this was happening, and we understand that we must do something for, let's say, our cousin, the reef coral, and studying why the precious coral that lives so deep, over 1,000 meters, in very bad condition, very cold, very dark, strong wind, survive, very healthy. Understanding the reason why, we can help the coral reef. And another thing that I was telling you before, now, because of the misunderstanding of the INHORGENTA, bring the legislator to allow only the scuba diver to fish coral. But the concept of sustainability and the responsibilities change
Yes.
along the 2-3 years. Now, we have to consider mainly the sustainability of the human being. We must help the human being to survive, because if we live in a sustainable world where we don't kill elephants, we don't kill any animals, and so on, but we kill the man, that's something that is no good. Happened like 10 years ago when I was called by the president of WWF, who used to live in Rome, Fulco Pretresi, and he invited me for lunch in his house. He said, Enzo, I would like to understand what is the problem that my people has with you, with your coral. I explained to him, and he said, now I understand, because they let me make a lot of mistake. For instance, they push to don't kill the elephant. They push to don't kill the cinghiale. I don't know the English name. Now, I have to sign, together with other organization, to kill 10,000 elephants. Because the elephant, after we have stopped to kill the elephant, they increase, becomes too many. And the elephants are killing the African, are destroying the village. And this is something that we have to do, but we cannot communicate. Nobody has to know. But it was our mistake. So now it's important the human being. In this image, you see a robot. The robot can reach 1,000 meters. The scuba diver can reach 100 meters. Big risk. The scuba diver has only 10 minutes. You see, this is an image made by Coastal Guard with a special technique, and they found a big coral branch at 1,016 meters. So, as I was saying before, the scuba diver can remain 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, what he can do? He cannot choose the big one and the smaller one. He just take. Of course, but with the rov, to take one piece of coral, he spend maybe 30 minutes. Of course, he spend 30 minutes if the branch is bigger. With the one hand, he take the branch. With the other, he break all the small point around the branch. All these small pieces come down on the seabeds and make a kind of semination. So we are now trying, through the scientists, to change the European law. Cannot be changed European law. We will try to make a new law. This is the Corallina, like we saw before.
The Corallina boat.
Corallina boat with the Ingegno. And then regarding the archive that my father keep.
The museum, that's important, the
museum,
preservation.
There is one side dedicated to Raffaele Costa. It was the biggest coral factory never existing. 250 people working there, and 3,000 people work around. They used to make also, come si dice, mattonelle?
The bricks. The bricks.
Bricks. But the most important thing not was the coral, but was the archive, the document. Because from the document, I can rewrite the story of coral.
Poco tempo per le domande.
Sì.
And so, what I want to communicate with this interview is that Enzo is really the guardian of the preservation of coral as for its history, craftsmanship, and artistry. And what are the challenges, Enzo? To conclude, we want to give a space to some questions.
The challenge is to continue this kind of art through the friend that follow me, like Laurent Cartier, Rui Galopin, Olivier Segura from l'École de Van Cleef. And we have one goal, educational. Because educated, especially the people who take the decision from the government, we can let the people work safely, and then we must spend time to keep the what we found, the antique tools, antique documents, and also with the help of the scientists, Federico II, Department of Commerce and Management, they made for coral a report in which they say that the coral, the fishing, the processing, and the culture of the coral are sustainable. There are some things that we still have to change, this Professor Bona. But I hope that we will do it, because some organization, trusted organization, they include the coral in the red list. And then we have on our side also the Scientific Center of Monte Carlo, and through their research, we can found the way how to help the coral reef. As you see in the image, just working on the small piece of coral, they take a very, very small piece of coral, they put in cultivation. After a few months, becomes 10 times more bigger. Of course, with the help of Prince Albert, that he has, he loves the ocean, and he has a special foundation to help the seabed, the sea life.
And we love coral, and Mr. Liverino wrote a special book about the shaka coral. That is a very particular coral. You see that I am wearing pearls and shaka coral because it's like a fossil, so very sustainable. And this is the book of Mr. Liverino. And I think, Enzo, would you like to add something, or you want to listen to the questions?
No, I want to listen some question.
Questions, please. Enzo is very at your disposal. It's not every day that you can ask a question to a living legend. Please.
Kyle, let me give you a microphone. This is Kyle Roderick. Be careful of her questions, Enzo, huh? But I'm sure she'll be nice.
Hello, and thanks for this informative talk. You mentioned your museum, and I think that some of the people here might very much want to find out how to visit your museum. So can you tell us what sort of arrangements have to be made and who to contact and how to make that happen?
Laurent Cartier, yes, the key.
Did you get that, Laurent?
You have the key of the museum.
Enzo, we'll do
He's
it.
the caretaker of the museum.
So you're the gatekeeper. are you?
San
He's
Peter.
just given me that role, but I'll bring you to Torre del Greco and we'll go see it.
He's St. Peter.
Well, thank you for answering that question.
Okay, any other
questions?
Take the chance to ask questions. You know, coral is very difficult. And it's a material that is very rare to know. Not rare, but rare to know. So please, ask the question.
How was your experience last week?
Somebody who visited the museum, Kyle.
Ah, come on. Come on.
I'm the lucky one who visited, actually. Like, I mean, it was 2 weeks ago. Yeah? 2 or 1 week and a half. But yes,
Can you
it's
introduce yourself to the audience?
Hajduk Olga from Poland, from the Association for Jewelry Appraisers in Warsaw, based in Warsaw. And we had, as an association, an extremely rare opportunity to meet Enzo and Rui and to spend a couple of days in Torre del Greco to see the museum, to have a seminar on site, to explore different varieties of corals. And of course, Rui introduced us with the theory. And then we had an amazing input into the how to play with coral, how to recognize the different varieties, and how to cut coral. I even tried to cut, so it was very nice to have this opportunity. How to carve coral. We met Massimo, which is a nice carver. So it was a 3 or 4 days full of attractions. And also we visited Duomo di Napoli, I mean the cathedral in Naples, when
lucky.
we see all of those misericordia, let's say, which are really well connected with the Caravaggio painting. It is really splendid to see this those objects and before visit the chapel with the Caravaggio painting. So I don't know, it's really worthy. So I can just say, please contact Enzo, contact Rui, and come and share the news, because the museum is really amazing, because you can see a different variety of corals. You can see also a jewelry made from coral from the ancient time to nowadays, and you can see that the Carolina Bonaparte parura, which is something extremely rare. And yeah, let's visit. So I don't want to grab your
Thank
time,
you very
Enzo,
much.
really. You are a king of coral, not me.
Any other questions?
And, you know, we can also, the book, I think it's important, the book can be bought online. If you want to learn more about Shaka Coral, do go on the website to buy the book.
Right now is on sale on AGS website.
Yeah, AIGS
I hope
website.
that soon we can have some quantity in Europe.
Take the pictures
to save money
you want.
Yeah.
for the shipment.
Yeah.
This is a very important book. It's so new, and nobody wrote about this before. So really, I'm so glad and happy that Mr. Cartier and INHORGENTA gave us the possibility to talk about coral and to show also this novelty. This is a real novelty. So let's hope that I already write a little article. Maybe someone else would like to buy this or write about it. Any other questions before finishing?
I think one last question and then we'll be out of time. It will be the next.
Okay. I just need some correction. I may get some misunderstanding. In the market, the coral that I can buy and sell to my customers comes from the coral reef or the previous coral deep of the ocean?
I don't listen very well.
Come on.
Okay. Which corals that we have in the market now?
Quali sono I colori che vanno da moda mo?
The precious coral, there are 7,500 species of corallidea. The only 8 are precious, means lives in the deep water. Okay. All the other are common or reef coral and lives in 2-3 meters, 10 meters, 20 meters. So on the market, I think you don't find any reef coral because it's undersighted.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure. I don't know if we have the space for the last question.
I fear the last question will have to be, but you both will be around for a little bit more, right? If people want to ask a question afterwards. All right. Thank you very much, Laura. Thank you very much, Enzo. Grazie
Thank
mille.
you very much.